Arsenal is going to sign Eberechi. Now, this is nothing new. Eberechi has been linked with Arsenal since earlier in the summer, since mid-July. And if you listen to the guys from AFTV, he is a player that they desperately want. If you listen to Henry Talks Football, he's a Spurs fan. He is desperately wanted as Eberechi, and it looked like Tottenham was going to get him. Okay, because Arsenal had basically cooled their jets and they weren't going to sign Eberechi. And because, to be fair, they have, Eberechi is not a left winger. That's who they need, is a left winger. Somebody on the left-hand side, even though Eberechi can play on the left-hand side. You have Nwani, poor with names, apologize for that, but you have Odegaard. You really don't need Eberechi, at least Arsenal didn't think they did. And but what has happened? What has changed? Well, what has changed is earlier in the day, we report that Kai Havertz got injured knee. Now, we don't know how long he's out, but apparently it looks like it's a serious injury because, again, we don't know how long he's supposed to be out. We have no clue. In fact, I don't think Arsenal's even made a statement on it. I think this was reported by outside sources, and they said that Kai Havertz has hurt his knee. And if he's hurt his knee significantly, then Arsenal needs to go into the transfer market. And apparently Spurs was pretty close to signing Eberechi. He was going to be a Spurs player. And but now that Arsenal's back in, he's basically said, nope, I don't want to go to Spurs. I want to go to... In fact, he was actually at Arsenal as a youth player before Arsenal said they weren't going to sign him, which broke his heart, and he went elsewhere, became a great player, an English international, and now he's back on Arsenal's back on Arsenal's radar, and apparently he's made a decision he wants to sign for Arsenal. And now, clearly, if you're a Spurs fan, this is going to irritate you to no end. You thought you were going to be getting Eberechi. You thought you were going to be getting Eze was fantastic in the Community Shield game. He was also pretty good against Chelsea, which he scored a goal off a free kick, but was it wasn't allowed for, I don't know what the reason was. I think it was something to do with the wall, but nevertheless, he's an outstanding player. 27 years old, Premier League ready. Really an outstanding player. Well, Arsenal's decided they're going to go back in for him, and he has decided he's going to go to Arsenal. He said, no for Spurs, yes for Arsenal. Well, I guess if I was watching Robbie from AFTV talk about this, and he says this feels like Sol Campbell going from Spurs to Arsenal. Well, that not exactly, because Sol Campbell was at Spurs, but to be fair, if I've talked about this before, I don't think there's anything wrong. I know that Gary Neville, I heard Jerry Carragher once say that he betrayed Spurs. How? Okay, because he had a contract with Spurs, he fulfilled his contract with Spurs. Okay, it's not like he went on strike at Spurs and said, with 2 years left on his deal, said, I want to go to Arsenal, get me to Arsenal. No, that's not what happened. He fulfilled his contract with Spurs, and then when he was a free agent, he could go wherever he wanted to, and he decided to go to Arsenal. So, even whether he said he wasn't ever going to play at Arsenal, whatever, the fact of the matter is, he was, I'm not going to Sol Campbell mishmash here, but Sol Campbell fulfilled his contract with Spurs and was a free agent, could go wherever he wanted. He decided to go to Arsenal, big deal, end of discussion. With Eberechi, he is not a player that has signed with Spurs. He was linked with Spurs. Spurs was in negotiations. They were writing a package, and it looked like he was going to go to Spurs, but now that Arsenal's back on his radar, or exactly who wants to, it looks like Arsenal's going to sign Eberechi Eze. Now, again, that's what they are saying, okay? Nothing has happened. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Nothing matters until you put your name on the line which is dotted, okay? Until that happens, okay, then, even though he says he wants to go to Arsenal, he would not surprise me if he ends up signing with Spurs or another club. But until he puts his name on the line which is dotted, and that's where he wants to go to. He wants to go to Arsenal, okay? And that is an important thing. Then that's what's going to happen, okay? Arsenal is they're putting together a package, a $60 million pound package plus add-ons for Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace's coach has said that Eze is going to play in the conference game that they have tomorrow, and with what's going on now, you got to wonder if that's going to happen. Okay, now Arsenal is also linked with Rodrigo. Rodrigo did not play for Real Madrid yesterday. Okay, they did not play again. I think they played Elche and they won 1-0. Rodrigo did not. It was on the bench, but he did not come in. Okay, Eze. It'll be interesting to see if he plays in the Conference League game for Crystal Palace, because based on what's going on. Because Arsenal has, I got it from One Football, AFTV, Mark Goldbridge has stated it. If I'm Spurs, if I'm Expressions oozing right now, I am probably, or Henry Talks Football, I am furious right now at, the fact that I was about ready to get Eberechi Eze, a fantastic player, an outstanding player, a player that you could have used at Spurs, has decided to say, no, I want to go to Arsenal. Well, that's that's the way the old ball bounces, and that's the way everything pans out. But again, Eberechi Eze apparently on his way to Arsenal. Good for Arsenal, good for my club. Poor for Spurs. I like to say I feel bad for you, but I don't. But we'll see how this all pans out. Congratulations to, let's see, like I said, until he signs the line that's dotted, early congratulations to Eze. You get your dream move to Arsenal. You get back to the Gunners, the place you were at before. But we'll see how that pans out. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day. And for your Spurs fans, it happens. Have a good rest of your day.